Hey guys, it's George from Diamondyard Sports Cards. I'm coming at you here with another video. It's a pickup of a 1950 Bowman Jackie Robinson. Now, I get some questions sometimes about, hey, why are you getting duplicates? Why do you pick up the same cards? I do have, more than a few 50 Bowman Jackies, but you know what? Whenever I see one that is nice and centered and the color is really good, regardless of the grade. I mean, obviously I can't afford to buy a 7 or something like that, but if you find a nice card, regardless if it's a 1 to 2, 2.5, 3, if it's centered and nice, I suggest with a player, like Jackie or Hank Aaron or Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio, you got to consider picking up a card like that because you're probably going to regret it if you don't. This particular card, the 50 Bowman Jackie Robinson, is probably my favorite baseball card. And I'm going to go over the history of the card a little bit and talk about some people that were involved. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and here we go. So guys, what I got here, I just wanted to discuss a little bit. This man. And how is he related to Jackie Robinson in any way? Well, George Sisler was a rare guy for his time. In the early 20th century, there weren't many major leaguers that had a college background like Sisler, who was one of the great first basemen of all time, played for the St. Louis Browns, one of the first men inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame, along with the first, I believe it was 10 to 12 in that group. He attended the University of Michigan, where, as a baseball coach, where the baseball coach was a law school student. Now, how is Sisler related to this law school student when he was at University of Michigan? That law school student that was a baseball coach was Branch Rickey. So Rickey became manager. They became friends then, and Rickey became manager of the St. Louis Browns and brought Sisler along to play. So Sisler's playing career would flourish with the Browns, of course, and he would win, would be one of the best players in the league, one of the best first basemen in the league in the 1920s. But Sisler, later on, the relationship became much more fruitful because Sisler became a scout for, and later batting instructor for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And he was one of several scouts who was dispatched to watch Jackie Robinson in the mid-1940s. Now, this is kind of a new story, news to me. I was doing some research on this. Now, Sisler's grandson was referring to a memoir that his grandfather had written. And Sisler's grandson stated that Sisler had gone to dinner with the Robinsons and to meet the family to gauge his temperament. And when Sisler returned, he reported to Branch Rickey and said, quote, "I think he's the guy." So in 1947, obviously, Robinson comes up to the big leagues and had an immediate impact. But then in 48, there was kind of a lull in his performance. He had gained some weight. If you watch the Ken Burns documentary, it talks a little bit about this. So Sisler would work with Jackie Robinson prior to the 1949 season. Sisler helped the Brooklyn Dodgers infielder make important adjustments in his stride and stance, and the results were immediate. Robinson hit .342, drove in 122 runs, and scored 122 runs himself, and won the National League MVP. So I want to talk about the year of this card. In 1950, which is the Jackie Robinson I'm referring to, and you can see it's got a little bit of marks on the back, some paper loss right there. You can see that. Anyway, so in 1950, the United States population was less than half of what it is now. And this card comes from a photograph, and I'm going to pull that for you guys to take a look at. And many of you know this. Whoa, watch out, Sisler. This photograph was a press photo, and I'm going to try not to mess this up too much, going old school. So this is the press photo, and you can see there, if you know the card, it's very similar to the card. These cards were sold in 5-cent nickel packs, but this specific photo was done by a man named Barney Stein. And Stein was one of the great photographers in Major League Baseball. And Stein was taking this photo at Ebbets Field. This photo was taken in 1949, and it shows Robinson taking a practice cut, and Barney Stein was the one who took it. Now, from 39 to 1970, Stein worked for the New York Post, from what I found out, and he was also the Dodgers' official photographer for 20 years. So during spring training and the following season, kids would see a painting of this photograph, the 50 Bowman Robinson card, and a summary of the epic 49 season, which was aided by George Sisler's tips, of course, when opening up packs of 50 Bowman cards. So now I'm going to show you the Robinson, and it is a PSA 3. I'll get some better lighting on this in a minute, but you can see there's the photo, there's the painting, and it looks wonderful. I found this card, and I worked with the seller, and I had to get it because that's just kind of my impulse. Certain cards I always am looking to pick up. 60 Hank Aaron, Jackie Robinson, 50 Bowman. Again, probably my favorite baseball card. Ebbets Field in the background there. And these, like I said, these cards are sold in 5-card nickel packs, 1-cent penny packs, and there are wax issues, because of the fact that they were put in 1-cent packs with one card. This Robinson is number 22, and it is a lower or shorter print. I guess the thought is on these, there were 252 cards in the set, and 1 through 72 have proven to be more valuable, and the belief is they were shorter printed and are tougher to find in high-end condition. So I just wanted to tell you about the population as well. The population of this card is second only to the 52 tops in how low or hard the card is to find. There are 1,188 total of this graded. Now, as you guys know with pop reports, there are fewer cards than there are pop reports because people will snap it out. They'll resubmit it. They think, hey, maybe I can get myself a 3.5 or a 4 on this card. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But then they don't usually send the flip back when they do that because they want PSA to give it fresh eyes. To say there are 1,188 of these Robinsons out there, at least the PSA is graded probably closer to, I imagine, like 800 or 800 to 900. But there's 1,392 48 Leafs, 1,393 49 Bowmans. So this is one of the more rare Robinson issues, the second most rare of the major issues. When you look at the back, you can see, unfortunately, this does have some paper loss on it, but you can see that he was the most valuable player. And so he was in the midst of this MVP season when the photo was taken in 1949 by Barney Stein. As it says there, I neglected to say, I told you about the 342 batting average and the 124 runs, but the 37 stolen bases is fantastic as well, of course. So, guys, I just wanted to share this Jackie with you. I was pumped to pick it up, try to get a little closer here. And I worked with the seller. He worked with me. It was a process, though. Anyway, but thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate you checking out the channel and all your comments. Keep collecting.